So we can use Dream Shacklegeist's ability to keep the blood-crazed socialite tapped down, put them to 5. Will it be enough to get across the finish line here? Looks like it will. Let's see what our ranking does. It moves from Plat 1 to Diamond 4 for the first time on the channel. Onward and upwards. Hello Daily Drafters, today is Friday, February 4th, and thanks for joining me for today's final Crimson Vow Daily Draft. As we get into the content here, I'd like to give a special thank you to all those in the subscriber community for choosing to spend a part of your day here with me. And for those of you that aren't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that red subscribe button attached to this video. Remember, it's absolutely free, doesn't cost you a dime, and you will then have access to the most consistent, high-quality MTG Limited content on YouTube. Also, tomorrow begins set review season for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Beginning tomorrow at 7 a.m. we will drop the first set review. And here at Daily Draft we do them a little bit differently. You'll see tomorrow, and if you aren't subbed yet, you're going to want to make sure you do that in preparation for these videos that will be coming out. We do them a little bit differently, what we like to call archetype skeletons. If you don't know what that is, tune in tomorrow so you can go ahead and see. We got to get into the pack one, pick one before we run out of time here. It's the last one. We've only got 10 seconds, so you kind of know what's going on here. I think Felstinger's the best card in this pack. There's Diagraph Scavenger and a Braid as well. Falconrod Celebrants. I don't like starting black, but Felstinger is the best one in this pack by far, so we will take it. Yeah, as I was saying about the archetype skeletons, tomorrow there will be 2 videos released each day from Saturday to Wednesday, one for each of the color pairs, about what archetype skeletons are and what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be functioning as set review content on this channel. You will absolutely want to be notified about those videos as they come out because set review season and preview season is very, very important in staying on top of it when Kamigawa releases next Thursday on Arena. So here we've got Restless Bloodseeker as a follow-up to Felstinger, which is good. I also just really like blue-red decks, and Aruth is a very good card in that deck. We can lean blue-red spells more so than blue-red counters like we did on Tuesday. Counter spells because Aruth didn't really fit in that deck. I think Bloodseeker is a fine enough follow-up to Felstinger, but I think Aruth is better than both of these cards that I'd be willing to take this here and not just kind of get married to Felstinger and pick one. So now we're kind of don't really have anything to pick for anyone. Don't want to play Soul Cipher board. All these blue-red cards are just meh. Spider's not really a deck I want to get into. All of these are just filler. Do I just take an Evolving Wilds to delay this decision here? I mean, maybe we could take Epicure to go with Aruth. I think I'll actually stick with Epicure to go with Aruth because this is a good card to flip because it's cheap off of Aruth. So I think we can go ahead and just take this Epicure here, but not really put much weight into this pick 3 because it doesn't really go with what we're going for here. Alright, so as far as Aruth goes, another cheap cantrip here in Ancestral Anger. We'd love to get 3 or 4 of these in a deck with Aruth, so we're going to go ahead and take that. Maybe we wheel Cruel Witness, but I doubt it. But we're definitely going to take our first Anger here. Now we've got Winged Portent, Chill of the Grave, Falconwrath Celebrants. It's between Celebrants and Chill of the Grave. I think I'm going to take the first copy of Celebrants. I feel like this will go a little bit later in the draft if we want a copy of Chill of the Grave or 2. And Celebrants is good top end in a deck like this. I know it doesn't go super well with the Aruth, but we do need threats in blue-red deck, I've noticed. So Celebrants is a good one. And then we see Wandering Mind for blue-red. And that kind of secures us into a pick 6 Wandering Mind, saying that no one to our right is going to be in blue-red. I wouldn't think. So we will definitely take Wandering Mind here. Then we will see Wedding Invitation, Sure Strike, and Ceremonial Knife. I think we can take the knife here, question mark. The thing is, Knife goes well in a deck with a lot of creatures. Blue-red typically doesn't have a ton of creatures. So there is Wedding Invitation as a cantripping draw card. It's almost like draw 2 with a Ruth on the battlefield and a Sure Strike, but I don't think we'd play really many of those cards, to be honest. So there's Fear of Death, Steelclad Spirit, and our first Wretched Throng. I think I'll take our first copy of Wretched Throng in this deck. I've liked the Wretched Throng package in blue-red. It's been totally fine. If we can find some Exploiters as well, it goes really well in that. Sure Strike, again, for the same reason that Knife is not great, Sure Strike is also not great. Steelclad Spirit can help us hold down the ground if we try to win with some blue flyers, maybe. But we'll take Wretched Throng here. Then we see another Celebrant's Wheeling and Skywarp Scob. I don't want to send red signals to my left, so I'm going to take this over Scob. If we want a copy of Scob, which this deck might, because we're leaning a little creature heavy, if we do want to copy this, I think we'll be able to find it at some point in this draft. So I don't want to send red signals to my left. Now there's a bunch of blue and red cards. I think we will take Chill of the Grave here as a nice cantripping quasi-removal spell for the moment. We can take Binding Geist. Soul Cipher Board is not a card I want to put in my deck, so we'll take Binding Geist, but not really put too much weight into that pick because that's also not a card I'm super willing to play. None of these cards matter for us. These don't either. And who knows about Pyre Spawn. Alright, so here in pack 2, we see Concealing Curtains, which is very good. We see Parasitic Grasp, which is very good. We also see a Flame Breather, an Impulse, an Essence, and a Fearful Villager. I think I want to take Flame Breather. I know we only have 2 instants and sorceries right now, but blue-red is the deck that has the ability to end up with a lot more. Would love to wheel Reckless Impulse here. But we're definitely going to take our first copy of Flame Breather and see if we can't put a nice little Flame Breather package together. Alright, so here we've got Repository Scob, Ancestral Anger, Cobbled Lancer. There's a few cards. I think I want to go ahead and take our second copy of Anger. Again, really good with Iruth. We can kind of storm off here. So every single one of these draws us 2 cards if this is on the battlefield. And if we have 5 or 6 of these, we can just literal storm off. We're going to take our second one here. Then we see a whole lot of nothing. Don't care about a second Binding Geist or a first Frenzied Devil. Bloody Betrayal, we don't have any exploit yet, so it's not very good. Cradle of Safety, not necessarily. I think I'm just going to take a Disappointing Evolving Wilds here and kind of delay that decision. Now we've got another Epicure, Spirit, Scob, Assistant. I think we'll go with the second Epicure, again, leaning cheaper for a Ruth here. If we wheel either the Scob or the Assistant, that could be pretty good with double Epicure already. Exploiting those cheaper one-drop creatures that don't really do much after they've already gotten their ETB ability. Okay, so here we have Reckless Impulse or second Flame Breather. I think we're definitely going to go with second Flame Breather, and then hopefully we wheel that first Impulse. Doubt we wheel this second one here, but you never know. Would love to get at least 1, maybe 2 copies of Impulse in this deck. Here's a Thirst for Discovery. That'll be great for us. Don't think we're going to miss either of these cards, so we'll take this Thirst. Then we have Syncopate versus Wretched Throng. Because of a Ruth, Thirst actually becomes a little bit worse because we would exile the top 6 cards of our library and then only be able to play them this turn. So we're going to have to be careful about that interaction. I think I'm going to take my first Wretched Throng over my second Wretched Throng over my first Syncopate here. Make sure we can try to put together a Wretched Throng package. And we do see Stormtracer Drake pick 8. With 2 Angers already, this is a great pickup for us. We're definitely going to take Drake here. as a nice little win con. And the impulse did come back, so we will happily take the impulse here. All of the blue cards are coming back. I think we're in the right archetype here. We just got to hope that in pack 3 we get some of the nice glue commons. We don't have any abrades or bolts yet, so we need to find those. Go with Cobbled Lancer or Scob. I think I'm going to take Scob with our double Epicure and double Throng here. Don't think we're playing any of these cards necessarily. We can take a second Scob. I think we'll take a second Scob over Reverse Spirit. We did wheel the Impulse. I think blue-red is wide open. So let's hope we get some good removal spells in red here in pack 3 for us. So here we've got Scob, or Lantern Bearer, and I think Diver Scob is exactly what this deck is kind of looking for. A good top-end threat that can sacrifice some of these cards here. Doubt Lantern Bearer comes back, but if it does, we would happily play it. But we're going to take Diver Scob, and we see a second Iruth. Do we take 2 Iruths here? They are legendary. Sure, let's take 2. It's either that or Steelclad Spirit, and that's basically literally it. Let's take 2. I don't know if we'll play 2, but we'll see. We might have to run more than 40 cards in this deck if we play 2, because we're going to be churning through our deck. We'll make that decision when it comes. Would love to get a copy of Abrade and Flame Blessed Bolt here. Probably need one more Flame Breather, maybe one more Anger, and one more Throng. I think that would kind of complete this deck for us. Here's Abrade, and here's the Throng. Maybe we wheel this one. Would we play 3 Impulses? Maybe? Who knows? But we definitely have to take this Abrade here. We need removal. So we will absolutely take the Abrade, and then we'll see what comes here. So now we've got Chill, Voltaic, Visionary, Syncopate. I think we'll go with Visionary. Although this deck is not going to struggle for card draw with double Iruth. Chill of the Grave, instant speed is not great with Iruth, even though we already have one. I think we will go with the 2-drop and Visionary here for that reason. Lunar Rejection or a 3rd Throng? How many instants? We have 3 instants so far? That's not very good. There is a Catilda, but we are way far away from that as much as I like this card. Maybe we can wheel this Throng. I doubt it. But there is another one that could come around and like pick 9 or 10. And Lunar Rejection, I think, is good enough kind of removal. And wow, yeah, our archetype is wide open here. So we're going to take Storm Chaser Drake as another threat that can get through as a flyer. And sadly pass up on a Lantern Bearer. Here we've got Celebrants versus Fear of Death, Wanderlight Spirit. I think we'll take a Celebrants, but I doubt we're playing 3. Dream Shackle. Oh my gosh, we're the only blue drafter at this table. 8th pick Dream Shacklegeist. Okay, yeah. I think we are only blue, and here's Stitch Resistant and Lantern Bearer. We are absolutely the only blue drafter at this table, without a question. Wretched Throng did come back. We'll happily take our 3rd one here. Chill versus Syncopate. Because of double Iruth, I think I'll take Chill. Syncopate gets much worse with Iruth here. So did we get there? Kind of. Not really. I'm not exactly sure. This deck is interesting, but certainly is something. Lots and lots and lots of 2-drops. 21 creatures. Okay. And a Cradle. Don't think we'll play that one. So let's take a look at what we've got. I don't think these Scobs are going to be good enough. I don't know about Steelclad Spirit or Visionary or even a second Epic here now that we don't have any sacrifice except for the Diver Scob. We have a lot of 2-drops. So we don't really need these necessarily. We're going to win through Dream Shackle Guys, Storm Chaser Drakes, Diver Scobs, Celebrants, things like that. So I don't think we need those 2-drops, to be honest. Then we've got all of these cards, which I think I would like to keep all of them. Maybe we could cut a Chill of the Grave, because instant speed card draw with double Eruth is not that good. And I think for that reason I can actually cut Thirst. Because if we have an Eruth on the battlefield and we cast Thirst, it's exile the top 6 of your library. You can only play them this turn. And with that in mind, maybe we cut another Chill of the Grave, but we are lacking in interaction with this deck, unfortunately. We have 8 instants and sorceries right now. Do we really need Epic here? I don't think we need an Epic here. So I think we can actually run it back like this. And see if we can kind of storm off a little bit with Drakes and Angers and Eruths and Impulses and all things like that. This deck certainly has the ability to be pretty fun. Let's hope we can get some of those draws to go our way. As we get into this first match here, don't forget that here at Daily Draft, we make sure we post each and every draft we record. And if Tuesday's ending of the video wasn't an exact example of misplays and underperforming decks, I don't know what was. But I still want to make sure that we post drafts like that. Because, you know what? I want to make sure that you know that Reclusive Taxidermist can also tap for mana and counter your Syncopate. So mistakes and things like that are okay, and they're not the end of the world. So we want to make sure we're all human. We want to make sure that you guys can learn at least something from each draft that we post here on this channel. We will keep this hand here. And then we can go 2-drop, probably Flame Breather, and then even if we miss a land, we can go Throng here. I think we'll go Flame Breather. We can go Evolving Wilds into Throng, and then maybe Reckless Impulse into something here. I think we'll go Wilds. We will attack and play Wretched Throng and pass. Okay. Do they want to attack? Nope. We will crack this for a blue. And Celebrant. So let's Impulse to start here. Find double land. Okay. So we'll attack here. Can kill our Wretched Throng, which lets them have a good attack with both of these creatures, or with at least a guess. So they'll get a blood token. We can bounce their Ridgewolf at the very least. Play this land, and I think we'll just start dropping 4/4s here. No reach, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll attack. Hopefully no removal for Celebrants. If they do, then we are in big trouble, taking 7 here. Do we trade? We have another one coming, so I think we will try to trade. Okay, so it does work. And then Rural Recruit. I hate the name of this card. It is so hard to say. Okay, so we could do Eruth, but I think I want to start... I want to make sure we can get Celebrants down here. So I will play this land, because Eruth is going to require basically all of our lands. None of this has reach, does it? Nope. Okay. Get in there for 1, and start to clog up the board here. Packsong Pup has the ability to get out of hand soon, because they do have the Okay, so they don't have any combat tricks in hand is what that tells me. I think we're going to go with the Ruth here. At least get a 2/4 onto the battlefield. And I think we will play this land. I know we have a bunch of these, but as long as a Ruth is on this battlefield, we need all the lands we can get. So we'll do that, and then we'll get in with Lantern Bearer. And hopefully we can outcard advantage them with a Ruth. We'll play Throng. We will not play Impulse. If we kind of brick on a Ruth, then we can do Impulse next turn. That is very bad news for us. Alright, my turn. Drake and Scob. Okay, so let's do... definitely Scob, sacrificing Lantern Bearer and making them recast Olivia's Attendants. So they'll burn their next turn doing that. Then we can also do Drake here. Next turn we can play Lantern Bearer on top of Celebrants. Okay, so there's the Attendants. They have a 4/4 pup. Hopefully we can get the victory on the back of Lantern Bearer here. We'll play this land. We will definitely Lantern's Lift here. We can chill on... we have to chill now. So what do we want to chill? I think we can chill the Attendants, and it looks like we got there on the back of Lantern's Lift. Awesome. One win away from Diamond. Let's do it. Alright, we are first here with a fine enough of a hand, I think. We'll do this to start. Get a blue. Good draw there. We can actually play this 2-drop now. I think I'm actually going to start with Wandering Mind next turn to get a flyer on the battlefield so we can start clocking them. Could also play around Syncopate by going with Storm Chaser Drake. We don't have any priority right now, so I actually do want to play around that. Looks like they had it, so we correctly played around it. Made them burn their mana on turn 2. And we still have a 2/1 flyer here. So now we can go with Wandering Mind, I think. We find Chill and Anger. I think Anger is going to be really good now that we have Drake. And we can cast it this turn. So let's do that. So we will draw 2 here. 2 very good draws. And we'll get in there with Drake. Now we have a couple of flyers. A couple more coming. Got a lot of gas here in this hand. No need to block. And they'll play a Socialite. Okay. We don't like missing land drops. So we can go Flame Breather, Drake. We can go Geist. Get in for 5. I think this has the ability to cause more damage over time. So let's get in here. Next turn we can attack for 6, and we could even impulse into a couple things that can kind of go off here. We'll see what we draw though. Don't need to block. I know we're taking 8, but this is a race we win. Bleed dry, alright. Missing another land is not great. So right now we can deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So even if we hit one non-creature off of this, we don't win off of it. So we can go Geist, keep that tap down. So they for sure have Syncopate now. We know that for sure. So we'll keep that in mind. This will not untap. And then we'll get in there, bring them to 5. And grab that victory onto Diamond 4. Okay, decent enough hand here. We got Lantern Bear into Stormchaser Drake, hopefully into Wandering Mind if we can find a mountain. Or if they're playing werewolves, we can bounce something. Blue is not exactly what I was hoping to find there. Green, black. Okay. Toxic Scorpion. There's the red. Play Drake, and then get in there with Lantern Bearer. I think I know this is a little late for advice in Crimson Vow because this is our last day of the format, but I think the most successful decks I've had in this format have been decks with flyers. It's been really good to have flyers in the deck. There's not a lot of good ways to deal with flyers, to be honest. So. Okay, so they'll get some value here. We're going to go with Wandering Mind, and here we have 5 power of flying already. Chill or Impulse? We already have 1 Impulse, so I think I'm going to go Chill. No need to block here. This is a race we win. Courier Bat, okay. That does block our flyers pretty well. But we can kick the Lunar Rejection just to bring it back to their hand for a turn. Draw an extra card. Next turn we can chill the grave. We can kind of make sure that we keep getting in each turn here. So let's get in. And if they choose to just replay a flyer, they know we can chill it. Okay, they'll replay it. So I think we just chill this now because we have lethal next turn if they don't have anything to do about it. So let's get in. Hopefully no Witch's Web. That would be pretty bad for us. Ah, jeez. And there we go with the antics. Okay, so we deal 3 to them. We'll play Wretched Throng that blocks their Scorpion well enough. Yeah, Witch's Web was a problem. They are at 6 though, so we're dealing a lot of pressure. Now they're at 8 and we're at 11, so could become a problem. Yet another land. So let's get in with Wandering Mind. They'll probably trade as expected. Then we can play Celebrants and ditch this last land here. Both of their creatures have Death Touch, but we have a good block on the Stinger. They are at 7 mana, which I do not like to see in black decks. No blocks on the Scavenger. There's a Flourishing Hunter, which is also not good to see. We'll get rid of this island. Flame Breather and Anger. Oh man, so we only have 1 red mana right now. We can dump this Throng to try to find a second red mana, which I think is worth it. Not quite a second red mana. I think we'll just go a second Celebrants here. And we can also keep this back to Chump and put that on the back of a Celebrants or something next turn. Chump their 6/6. Getting choked on mana here is really going to hurt us. Grizzly Ritual, okay. So we're going to have to take another 2 probably. And they will still have a 6/6 on board. All right. Still no red. I think I'm willing to try to find a red here. Well, we kind of did, but not really. So let's do this and get our red, and then next turn we can have 2 red at the very least. So no attacks. All right. So do we block that? We could trade like this. We can get another Wretched Throng. But if they have removal for Celebrants, then we're kind of toast if we do it this way. So I'm willing to go to 7 here. See if we can start to try to string something together next turn. Weaver of Blossoms, okay. And are they going to leave up Bleed Dry Mana? No. Restless Bloodseeker. Alright. Do we pitch something? I don't think we do. Alright, so let's start with Flame Breather into Anger here. We don't necessarily need to get value off of this island if we need to cast another mountain. If we need to use another mountain to like find a Ruth or cast a Ruth or something like that. So let's play Anger, get that trigger. A Braid is going to be good. So I think I'm going to get rid of this island and play this mountain instead. So we can attack here, still have a decent chump block. Could also hold up a Brave, but I think a Ruth is going to be better. Gets us more value going into next turn. We get to draw 2 cards next turn to try to get us out of this. And that probably puts it out of reach for us. They've used Flourishing Hunters. They've put 2 6/6s that have gained like 9 life onto the board. So that really hurts us. We will go ahead and chump the Flourishing Hunter here. Take 2 more, but now we have to deal 14 to them. I don't really see that happening. So that's our last Throng. And they can flip that next turn. Oh look, our other Iruth. Okay, we'll play the Mountain. We can play the Throng here. I don't really see a way out of this. I can start activating this next turn too. So no attacks. We will dump the Iruth in the exile zone. And then die to a army of 6/6s. Probably should have done that prior to them activating. Use the Abrade, so that was my fault. Not that it really matters. I mean, we're not getting rid of these 6/6s in anytime soon here, so we'll chump and chump. Go to basically 1. We don't have another one to go get, so there's no reason to do that. They're at 13. I don't know, maybe we can storm off somehow. Hopefully no Vampire's Kiss from them. Okay, and Mariner. So can we deal 15? Let's see. Well, probably not. We could go Drake, put the Bearer on Drake, but then we only have 2 mana left. They're down to 12. And they have 6 attackers. We will have 5 attackers. I think that's our only potential out, though. I guess we put it on Drake here. We did find an Anger. Still don't think we have an out. They're at 10 and we found a chill, but we can't cast it. So if we did this, they have 6 attackers to our 5 blockers. So we didn't quite get there. We were close, but the 2 Flourishing Hunters certainly put a stone wall in our plan. All right, decent enough hand here. Play that, get a Mountain, and then we will be off to the races. Hopefully no Bolt for our wretched Throng. If it's an Abrade, that's fine. Oh, they didn't have anything. Okay. They probably had Reckless Impulse in hand last turn and didn't want to use it. That's my guess. Maybe they'll use it here to ensure a land drop. Belligerent Guest, okay. Go Wandering Mind here. See what we can't find. Find lots of goodies. I think we just want an Abrade. I know we're dumping 2 Impulses on the bottom of our deck along with one of the Iruths, but next turn, we don't want to cast an Impulse next turn because we have 2 good 5 mana plays. So I think we just want a Abrade. We won't attack. And I also don't think we will block the guest because we can abrade it next turn. And the following turn we can Scob, sacrifice the Throng to put something on the top of their deck. So we're just going to let this guest hit us here. There's the Impulse. Post-land play, which is awkward. It's not how you want to use that card. So we want to make them burn their Fierce Retribution, so we will not attack this turn. But we can go Flame Breather into Abrade here. I'm going to do it on their turn, though. So no need to let them get value out of this Fierce Retribution. They're going to abrade our Flame Breather, so we are going to, in turn, abrade your guest. The next turn we can Scob, sacrificing Throng, making them return Belligerent Guest to the top of their deck if they want to. So let's do that line here. Take action, go grab another one. And they just shuffle it away. So it acted as a nice removal spell. Looks like they have Fierce Retribution in hand as well. A Piercing Light. I've had so much more Piercing Lights run on me lately than I had in the first 2.5 months of this format. So we will place... let's go attack. Maybe they want to get rid of this one first. With like a Fierce Retribution or something. Nope. So we will go Celebrants here. And then dump that last island with one of the blood tokens. Rending Flame, okay. And looks like they are out of gas. Another land and another land. So let's get rid of this one. See what we can find here. Chill of the Grave won't be so bad. Let's play Throng. I'm going to hold this Anger because we have double Drake in the deck. I'm going to hold this land because I think we have another Celebrants too. Fearful Villager, okay. They're going to hold their land. We're going to tap that down. Draw another one. And a Flame Breather. Let's play our Flame Breather. And I think now, because we're out of gas, I would like to use this. And we are once again out of gas. We can play this one at the very least. Let's get in there. And now we have lethal if they don't draw out of it. There's lethal. Alright, on the draw here. Don't like to see 2 Wretched Throngs in the opening hand, but we can't mulligan this hand here. Epicure, alright. Pretty good draw for us. We can go Drake into Wandering Mind, have 2 flyers on the board. Assuming they don't run us over before then. Okay. We might be able to just go Flame Breather first, because that blocks their board very well. So there's going to be a critical point in this game where... oh, geez, Alluring Suitor is not good to see. Where we need to try to stabilize against this deck. They're going to run out of gas here at some point, and we just need to stabilize. Let's take Chill. I don't think we're going to have time to cast Reckless Impulse on this board necessarily. Yeah, that makes sense. So they can pump this once. Right now it's only trading with Wandering Mind. They could have an instant, but we need to try to preserve our life total and get rid of their creatures as well as we can. So there's the combat trick that blows us out. So next turn we're going to have to go, I don't even know, we're going to be kind of owned at this point. We can go Throng into Chill on Deadly Dancer. None of Hair Enough Hope. Yeah, I think we're just a little bit too far behind this game. So let's chill down the Deadly Dancer here so they can't train their trainee. Got a land. I think we're going to have to trade with Epicure here because we could keep it back to double block with another Throng. Don't think we will though because we're going to go Celebrants, and if they have removal for Celebrants then we weren't winning this game anyway, so we're just going to trade here. Get the value out of drawing an extra card while we can. Go to 11. Get our third Throng. Next turn we'll just play Celebrants and hope it survives. So this is the key turn that I mentioned earlier. If this survives and they don't have good attacks, and then we can drop Eruth plus Wretched Throng, we might be able to stabilize well enough to close out the game. Hopefully. But if this dies, then I think that's just the end of the game. That isn't quite killing it, but it's doing just about the same job. So now we're dead in the following turn if we don't find 2 answers to flyers here. Okay. I think we have to... we could go double Drake. This is a decent blocker on this board. And we might need to just play this to consider chumping. So we'll do this. Go get a blue. And then probably not be able to survive here. So we have to take 6, go to 2. Actually, not even that, because Deadly Dancer could probably kill us. Okay, so we will have to chump with the Drake. So let's go... Yeah, I think we're just dead here at this point. So this will... I guess we'll do this. And then we die to Deadly Dancer plus Quartermaster here. So, looks like that'll do it for that one. Couldn't quite get over that hump. There's a stabilization moment when aggro plays against control, and we did not find it. Alright, so we've got a bit of a Pokemon MTG crossover going on here. Decent enough hand for us to keep. We've got Drake into Anger. Draw 2. So they could have Fierce Retribution here. But I'm going to go ahead and draw my 2 cards first. Oh my gosh. And they do have it. So they'll get rid of it, but we already got like a 3-for-1 out of this. And have all of the lands that we need. There's Griff Rider. Let's impulse first here. And then we can abrade. So now we have access to 8 lands. Seems like enough lands. They don't have anything. Okay, so let's Iruth then. And Retro. There's their 4th. Hokanda Mariner, that's a pretty good one. Throng and Flame Breather. So let's play both of these. Play this land here. And then we'll chill this on their turn. The only problem, again, with chilling here is that we're going to lose 2 cards to the top of our deck. Actually, we might want to chill this. We don't want this to get trained. We could chill it on our turn as well to not lose the Iruth value. I'm going to let them go here. I'm fine trading 2 Throngs for it. Didn't think they would. So do we want to chill this now or on our turn? I want to try it on our turn here. Oh, geez. So let's see what we can find. No lands anywhere. Yikes. So we have Skob or Drake plus Wandering Mind. I think we need to go Drake plus Wandering Mind. Lunar Rejection seems pretty good. Plus Drake here. No attacks. I know we have to get rid of Skob and the other card, but we hit no lands. And Catilda is going to be a huge problem. Okay. Alright, we'll play our land. We'll chill this now. We will hit 2 more lands. Alright. Let's make sure we can get in there. And then lose those 2 lands. Stinger is going to fight our Wretched Throng here. Or Slinger, I mean. Okay. Don't quite know how we're getting out of this one. Do we have another one? We don't. So no need to search. With Catilda untapping here in the following turn, I don't know how we're getting out of it. Okay. My turn. Celebrants and Dream Shacklegeist. Well, there's our answer to get out of it, is it not? We can constantly keep Catilda tapped down. Let's play Celebrants and Shackle. And we can play our land. We will keep this tapped down. And get in. Flourishing Hunter is going to make this just that much harder because they gain 7 life now. And we're running a little bit low on cards, withdrawing potentially 2 to 4 a turn. Do we care about getting hit for 4 here? I think we're going to need to kill the Cloaked Cadet. Make sure they don't keep drawing cards. So we will pass. We can do this here. Hopefully no combat trick. They didn't get priority unless they drew one. Okay. No combat trick. Another Eruth. Oh, wow. I didn't think we had that, but they gave it to us. All right. All right, so we are 4-2 here going into round 7. We'll go ahead and keep this. Get that F6 value. Grab the island. No play for them. We'll go Throng, and then we'll see what we need to do next turn here. Packsong Pup. We're probably going to want to go ahead and abrade that. We don't necessarily have to do it now, though. We can abrade plus chill next turn. But if they're willing to trade here, I'm totally willing to do that. Didn't think they would, so we can go Drake, and then we can go abrade plus chill next turn if they play another threat. They're going to Wolf Strike, maybe. Looks like they will. All right. Wandering Mind. I think we're going to hold on to that so we can get the value of doing both of these. So let's attack in the turn here. They might be stuck on a second color. Looks like they're going to Wolf Strike again, so we can 2-for-1 them here. They gain 1 life. They miss a land drop. Alright. I think it's good enough to just go Eruth here and start getting that card advantage life going. Now we have Chill of the Grave up for any creature they draw into. Wretched Throng and Lantern Bearer. That's a bit awkward. But we do want to make sure we get that extra card advantage, so we'll do it. Didn't find a land, but that's okay. We still drew 2 cards that turn. They found their red. So they are off to the races, theoretically. Recruit. Okay. Geez, no lands. I think we can go Scob, put the boar away. That gets rid of it for good. So let's play Scob here. I know we have to get rid of Chill of the Grave. So we'll sacrifice... I think we can sacrifice... Lantern Bearer here. We will target their token. And then if they want to trade with the Wretched Throng, I'm okay with that. They probably should. Considering we have Chill of the Grave in hand. But they do not know that, so... We might just be getting roped right now, who knows? Okay, so they'll make that trade. We'll go get another one here. And then we'll lose Chill of the Grave, but it's a price we're willing to pay. So we technically have lethal if all they do is play one creature. So if they play like a Hookhand Mariner or something, we technically just have lethal here. So let's see if they play around that. 5 mana, okay. Lacerate flesh, awkward. Considering that didn't kill that. Probably will force a swift concession here soon. And then we'll just go ahead and get on in there for lethal. Alright, pretty good hand for us here. We got 1, 2, 3. We can trade Lantern Bearers here, theoretically. Blue-white. Okay. We'll just snap trade there. Fleeting Spirit. I think we'll go Wretched Throng first. I'd rather threaten this trade than do a Braid and then just have them trade in a Braid for a card in their hand, which we don't want to do. Aruth will block this nicely as well, if they are able to get rid of this. Now they do have Counterspell mana up, so I don't know if I want to go with Aruth. Obviously, if they passed, they have Counterspell mana up, so we don't want to play into that. We can just pass the turn here. See if they do something post-combat. They don't do anything, so they burn their mana. I think we can go ahead and just chill this pre-combat now. Draw that extra card. Or if they want to counterspell it, they can. They're thinking about it. Tells me it's Syncopate and not Siphon Essence. Okay, so they'll let that happen. They're going to hold up more counterspell mana here. So let's go to combat and attack. Go to damage. And we'll play Flame Breather, see if they want to counter that. And they do. Okay, that resolves. That lets us resolve a Storm Chaser Drake here. And the next turn theoretically opens the door for Aruth. If we draw a land, that would be great. So we can go Aruth plus hold up one of these. But we'll see what they do on their turn here. Again, nothing. Okay. Tells me they have another counterspell, very obviously. So if we go Anger here, they could kill this in response. Well, they could bounce it, maybe. We wouldn't get the extra card. We'd get the one card. I think we can just play this slowly and hold up a Braid and chill here. We can make them burn their mana again, while we still have the opportunity to use ours. Scattered Thoughts, okay. So they're going to dump some more cards in here, which could give this first strike. But we're just going to tap it down at the beginning of combat again. So they put a land and a spirit, which tells me they drew 2 better cards and probably 2 non-lands in there, if I had to guess. So we will tap this down again, see if they want to counter it or not. Okay, so they're going to blink it. We can make them discard another card using a Braid at the end of their turn to get it off the battlefield for our creatures to be able to attack again. Okay, -2, -0 for the Drake. It's fair. Can still target it with anger, though. So that will come back, and then on the end of their turn, we're going to make them do it again. We still have counterspell mana up here, which I don't like. Okay. Resolves and comes back to our turn. Flame Breather. Let's see if they want to counter the Flame Breather here. They don't. Maybe it's because they couldn't. They could have syncopated for 2. They could counter the Anger, but we're still drawing a card from this Drake here. So let's see if they want to counter it or not. Nope. And we still miss a land. There's one. So at least there's that. Now we can get in. And then Drake will, or and then, what's it called? Fleeting Spirit will come back on their side. Got to be aware they can give it first strike, so we don't want to be attacking into that anymore. As long as they have a single white up. Circle of Confinement. Getting rid of Flame Breather. Okay. Leaving up counterspell mana yet again. Let's try to bait it out with Wandering Mind. See if they counter this one, or if it is Syncopate. If they don't counter, that tells me it's Syncopate. Okay, so it is Syncopate. We will find... I think we can find Reckless Impulse here. Because Lunar Rejection's not good against Fleeting Spirit. We could also return our own Drake to our hand with Lunar Rejection. But I think I'm going to take Impulse because I'd rather go Lantern Bearer on this, make it into a 1/1 again, and then force them to counter it, or we have an actual flying attacker at this point. They could put this on here as well, but any removal spell makes us bounce that. So, or makes that not be a good plan for them. Good thing we're bottoming both Wretched Throngs here. I think we're going to go with Reckless Impulse so that next turn we have a good target there. Now we can try this and see what they want to do about that. We'll draw an extra card. Totally fine if they want to syncopate it. And they do. Good. So we still draw our card, which was the main goal of the event there. And then they no longer have First Strike activation up. So we can afford to attack here, because I'm fine trading. Okay, let's start with this, so we don't run Dream Shacklegeist into a counterspell. Ancestral Anger is good. Put it on Drake. Draw 2 cards. Draw 1 card. Okay, it's fine. Now that got the thing off its back. So we still draw a card off of that. They do not have First Strike up anymore. So we have 4 mana. We can go Dream Shacklegeist, tap down the Spirit. But I don't think we need to tap that down because it doesn't have First Strike right now. So we can just trade with the Throng. We can get down a Ruth. So let's see if they want to trade. Doubt they do. So if we put down the Drake, we have lethal next turn. But I want to get a Ruth going here. That's brutal. 1 mana for a Geistlight Snare? Jeez. Okay, well. Got us there. Certainly did not see that one coming. Another Circle of Confinement to get rid of Wandering Mind. Okay. So let's go Diver Scob, seeing if they want to do anything about Spirit here. So we will exploit if they let us do so. Target their Spirit. Are they going to bounce it? Or discard a card here? Okay. Discarding Lunar Rejection just to not lose their Spirit? Okay, fine with that. And rather than play Shackle, Dream Shackle, guys, we're just put down Drake. Next turn we can get them by tapping down this with Dream Shacklegeist. Looks like they're gonna suit it up with flying here. And we are going to try to get in for the win. Assuming they don't have Counterspell. And they don't. Awesome. One more game of Crimson Vow here on the channel. Alright, 6-2. Win or lose. Last game. Decent hand to start here. Don't know whether to go with Throng or Flame Breather. Could depend what they do here. Selhoff and Tumor, so obviously we'll go Flame Breather because Throng can't do anything on this board. And the next turn, assuming they don't leave up any mana, we might be able to put down a Ruth. But a Ruth is also just much better when you're out of gas in your hand. Because if we play this, we're going to be incentivized to just put everything down from there. So I don't think we actually want to do that. We can do a Braid, or we can do Anger, Throng plus Anger. Can also just hold up a Braid here. I think I'd rather just Abrade this guest, make sure they can't get too far ahead of us. We've got a really good late game going here. And this Throng could threaten a trade. So maybe that's the reason to play it, but they do get a blood token off of the deal, but I think that's okay. So we'll do that. We don't need to use this Anger right now with Double Drake in our deck. Epic here, okay. And their own Flame Breather. And they don't want to attack with Guest. Okay, so we will play our second Wretched Throng, and then hold up a Braid. Okay. Might want to be abrading the Flame Breather, because if they're playing blue-red and they've built their deck right, they probably have multiple of these, and that could really get out of hand. Okay, maybe a Sure Strike or something, but we can blow that out with an Abrade if they go for it. Nope, they'll just let it happen. Fine with me. We will get another Wretched Throng. They're going to leave up Counterspell mana here. So do we see if they want to protect their Flame Breather or not? I'd rather them counter this Abrade than something like Eruth or Celebrants here. That's why I'm playing this now. They will counter it, so that's good news. Again, we'd rather them do that. So they could have Syncopate for 1, but I'm willing to risk that to play the Celebrants here. If they have it, but there's only one card in their hand. What's the chances? Good, so it did land. Now we have board domination. And no need to attack. Just got to make sure we can outrace this Flame Breather with our own, plus our own draws here. Okay. A little bit color screwed at the moment. Let's see if we can find another blue, maybe. Not quite what I meant by another blue. So I think we can attack with Celebrants. I suppose we can chill. No, we don't even need to chill anything. Might be able to just use a blood token to get rid of a Wretched Throng. This isn't getting through with these two 1/3s and a 1/1. So on the end of their turn, we'll use this, and we'll decide if we want to use one of these two. So Lunar Rejection can target... Why is it only giving us the option to play one and... Yeah, we have to cleave this if we wanted to play it here. So we'll just end the turn. Probably pitch this Wretched Throng. It's not doing much for us. They've got themselves a lot of land over there. I think we can go ahead and just use this to cycle it here. Tap down, I guess they're Entomber, just in case they felt the need to use that. Did find a land. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this Throng again. It's really not doing anything for us. And a Drake. Okay. And another Celebrants. So we'll do this. Go get a blue. See if they want to block this. So they're not getting any priority. So they could have a counterspell. But hopefully they don't, question mark? Darn. So they did, but it does leave Eruth open here to eventually hit the board once we have enough, once we've run out of gas. We are also dominating this board right now between a Celebrants and the Flame Breather. Yeah, so rather than use Anger here, I want to save it for a Drake. So if they have a removal spell, they can go here. So let's do that. Okay, go to damage. Do they have the counter spell for the Drake? Nope. So we could... We don't necessarily need to try to storm off right now. We've got it for next turn. So we can hold this up. Can we get there is the question. Can we get there? They're digging. Holy moly. Thank goodness they didn't have the mana to cast that. Alchemist's Gambit. So they get another turn. But then they lose the game at the end of that turn? No, they cleaved it. So they just get one more turn. Okay. Shouldn't do much. I think we can keep Lunar Rejection here. Not a bad draw. And we did get there. Awesome. So, with our last and 45th draft on this channel for Crimson Vow, we did manage to get our 10th trophy. 10 out of 45. Not so bad. Again, tomorrow starts preview content and set review content for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. You are absolutely going to want to be here for that. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already so you can make sure you stay up to date with those videos. If you're still interested in Crimson Vow drafts, there is a playlist at the end of this video as well as our last draft in case you missed it. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow for not your daily draft, but your beginning of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty preview season. See you then.